Hello everybody, this is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I'm back with another super easy, super cute Dollar Tree craft for you today. And there's a couple of Walmart items in here as well, but the bulk of this craft is from Dollar Tree. I am obsessed with lanterns, so let's make one. You're going to need some of this hat material. These were the straw hats that were at Dollar Tree. Um, Came in a variety of colors. So they have black, they have white, they had the natural beigey kind of color. They had this brown color, which I will be using today. They have yellow and pink and even blue. So pick up one of those. And then you're going to need some jute twine. You're going to need some nautical cord, just little bits and bobs I have around the house that I felt like, wow, this would work. This would be great. I have one of these little Dollar Tree tea light, electric lights, battery operated lights. Um, I have some of these wood pieces. I think, I'm not even sure what they called them. I've torn the label off, but these are these little wood pieces from Walmart. I'm going to need one of those for the top. And then I have these wood dowels, these very tiny little wood dowels that look like almost like a toothpick. I'm going to use some of those. They were from Walmart. I have my little wood beads from Walmart as well. I have this wood round. This was 89 cents at Joann Fabrics. I picked up 4. I've already used one. This is from Park Lane, just a wood shape. It doesn't say how big it is. Let me see. It is 7.5 inches. So pick up one of those. I will be using one of these, I don't know, little snack cups from Dollar Tree. I would put peanuts or something in it and serve it at a party. That's what I think these cups remind me of. So we're going to need one of those. You get a ton of them in one pack. So those are nice to have. Now, oh, and I'll be using my, I'm drawing a blank, you guys. This is Oak Furniture Repair Pen. That's what I'll be using. And my Crocodile. So let's start first by getting the wood colored in. I normally would paint this, but I am loving these furniture sticks, furniture markers. They absorb the wood so well. They absorb into the wood so well. And I don't know, I just like using them. Don't always want to paint, but I am going to end up painting anyway because I have to paint this plastic dish. So let's get this all colored in. It dries super, super quick. Go around your edges. That is done. Let's do the other side. Just because I like for things to be finished, even though you're not going to see it. Let's just do it anyway. Now that we've got our disc all stained and ready to go, we're going to take 14 of these little wooden dowels and we're just going to run some stain down them as well. It's actually pretty easy, pretty quick to do. And like I said, they dry almost instantly. So not too bad, you guys. I love these markers. I get the look of stain without all the smell of stain and the messy cleanup. Now that we've got all of our little itty bitty tiny dowels covered, which I missed a spot on this one. There we go. We're going to start putting our holes in the wood ground. And I did 14 of these. We may need a little more, we may need a little less. We'll see how full I want this to be. So now that I have both pieces all stained and ready to go, I have to leave myself an opening. I've got to leave myself enough room to be able to fit this candle, this little tea light inside. So just making marks here and here so that I know I can get this inside of the lantern from the back. And then this is where all of the dowels will be placed. So I don't want to cover the whole thing, go around the whole thing, because I'll never be able to get anything inside of it. So we're going to go start by marking that first. And then you can measure it out to make sure they're perfectly even. I'm more of an eyeball kind of girl. If, you know, I really want to space them out evenly, I can do a dot so that the width is at least the same all the way around. We'll do that. You don't want them super close together because you don't want it to split. So if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just taking the dowel, making a dot on either side. After I roll it, make a dot. That way, they space out fairly even without having to go through the tedious process of trying to measure all of that. And that's it. Let's see how many dots we ended up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Looks like we're going to have to color in some more dowels. We're going to have to stain some more dowels. So let's get that done. So I went ahead and painted my plastic dish with my Raw Sienna by Folk Art. It's just acrylic paint. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover it up. I just wanted some color underneath just in case this shows through, in case it shows through this material that I have here. So I did want to cover it just in case. So now we're just going to glue this material onto the little plastic bowl. And we're just using some hot glue. Be careful because this gets hot. This plastic really does heat up. So be careful with that. And you're going to cover this whole thing. Just going to hot glue all the way around until it is completely covered. When you get to where your ends meet, you're going to go ahead and cut that off and then start again at the same spot in the back. You want all of your seams to be in the back, or what we're going to call the back. We'll see how it goes, because I don't, on the other one I created, the seams really didn't show, so totally up to you, but I like to put them all in the same place. I like my seams to all end in the same place. You're going to be sparing with the glue because it does show through. If you use too much, it does come through, and it's hard to get it off. It's not easily removed. So now we're going to do our next strip. Put a dab of glue. Start your next strip and keep going. When you get to the bottom, all you want to do is run some glue around the edge so that you can fold this down. You want this to stick down so that it sits flush. So you have to hold it for a little bit. Wear your finger protectors. And you just want to go ahead and fold it in. You're going to do that all the way around. Now that this is all covered in the straw hat material, this is what it looks like. We're going to flip it over and take this nautical cord and glue it to the inside of the cup. You want to stay close to the top edge, but not really go over the edge. Any overhang, you can cut it off, or you can just glue it down inside of the cup. It doesn't matter either way. Whatever you want to do. I am going to just glue it down inside of the cup to cut down on the fraying of the rope. Now, we did that so that our little dowels have something to stick to. When we start gluing our dowels down, they need to stick to something. And I don't feel like the cup was going to be enough. So that's why we did that. Now let's make our holes here. This is just a little tiny screwdriver set that I got from Dollar Tree. We are going to use this one because it is the biggest one in there. And if you don't have a crocodile, you can just do it by hand with this, because I'm going to use this to make the hole bigger anyway. And I have my crocodile. You can make it where you can go in really, really far, or you can make it to where you can only go in so much. So we're not going in all the way at all. And we're just going to look for those dots that we put on. And we're going to start, turn them over, get them right. We're going to start making our holes. And that goes through there really super easy. So once I get all those done, I'll be back. Now that I've got all my holes punched in using the crocodile, and I have a small one, so it's not as big as I need it to be. So that's why I have my little Dollar Tree screwdriver, because I make the holes bigger like this. I just go in and make them a little bit bigger so that my dowels will fit in the hole. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Now that I've got all my holes punched in and made a little bit bigger, I'm just going over with my gator and I'm just sanding down some of that black marker. I'm also distressing it a little bit as we go. We are going to cover that up, but I don't know. I just like to keep things as clean and neat as possible on certain crafts. Some crafts, they look the way they do because they're distressed and they're country and they're supposed to be that way, they're farmhouse. And some things I just like a little neater. It just depends on what I'm going for. And you go, you know, you craft according to the look you're going for, because it is all personal preference. It does have to match your decor where you live. This is just an inspiration, and then you take it and run with it in any direction you'd like, whatever floats your boat. So that's what it looks like now that it's all done. I also went through with my small screwdriver and made sure that my beads were open all the way through, because sometimes they're not. So just something to think about. Now we are going to take our little wood dowels that we made. This is my back, so none of the dowels will be here because, again, like I said, we need to make sure we have an opening to be able to get in and out of this lantern. I'm just looking for where I made my seam because I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that is the back. So I'm just going to start poking these through, and all of the dowels are not created equal. Some are a little fatter than the others. So in that case, you would have to go ahead and enlarge that hole some more. So I'm just putting these in, all of them, all the way around. And then we're going to start gluing them in place. Now I'm going to start gluing all of these little dowels on the outside of the rope. I know we put the rope on, and I bet you were thinking we were going to glue this on the inside. We are not, because I want it to have a shape where it's bigger on the bottom and it gets smaller at the top. And if we glue it inside of the rope, it'll all just kind of be the same size, and I don't want that. I want it to have a cone kind of shape. So we're going to start to glue all of these on the outside of that rope, remembering to leave our opening in the back. So all I'm going to do is drop some glue and put the dowel down, and you've got to hold it for a little bit, you guys. This is tedious, but it's so beautiful when it's done. It's really pretty, so it's worth it. Usually when I am making something like this that's a little bit tedious, I just put on a crafter, somebody I enjoy watching, and I just put that on, and that's what I do. And I like to do one on this side, one on that side, one on this side, one on that side. I like to go back and forth so that I can get it pretty much even. I don't want to do one whole side because then it could come out a little off. There. So now I'll do the next two, and then I'll do the next two, the next two, the next two, until they're all glued onto the outside of the nautical cord. So you guys, this is what it's looking like so far. I love it. Do not worry about all this glue because you're not going to see it. We are going to cover it with some jute. I am finding that to glue these down, it is so much easier to just pull them up into place where you want them. And as I'm doing that, I really am eyeballing the spacing, just kind of, you know, looking at it, making sure when I pull it down or push it down from the top like this into that rope, into that nautical rope, that I look at the spacing and see that it's what I like, that it's where I like. And then when I get them all measured out nice and even the way that is pleasing to my eye, I go ahead and add the glue. So that is a much easier way to get these glued down. Be very careful with these dowels. They are very delicate because they're so tiny and they will break. Ask me how I know. So I'm just going through, lining them up, getting them where I want them. And then I'm just going to run a bead of glue all the way around because it's easier this way than trying to glue each one individually like I had started to do in the beginning. You know, as you go, you find more efficient ways to do a thing. And I will share that with you when that happens. But this is so pretty, you guys. I really am loving the way this is turning out. You guys, this is super, super cute. It could even be a bird cage. Now that I'm looking at it, the way that it's turning out, it could actually even be a bird cage. It's really, really pretty. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm just going to trim away some of the excess glue. And we're going to start adding the jute cord around the bottom of this, around the edge of this, because it is going to cover up all that glue. So we're just going to glue around it as many times as you like. You can go up as high up or down as you want. Totally up to you, totally your preference. But because I want it to lay a little more smoothly, I'm just going to get rid of this more chunkier glue that's sitting out here. And then we're just going to start gluing. More glue. I'm going to glue all the way around as many times as you like. I'm going to go a couple for sure because I want to be able to see that twine. I don't want it to be hidden. So it serves double duty because it covers up spots I don't like, but it gives me more texture and more design and more of a little country pop. So we're going to do that. Now that I've got my twine all wrapped around and I have gone ahead and burned off all of the hairs, if you're not comfortable with that, you can definitely cut them off with scissors. This project is just about done. I am going to add some decorative beading at the top. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put one bead every other dowel because they're too close together to put a bead at every dowel. They won't fit. So one bead at every other dowel. And I am going to start here. And actually, I want to cut these down so that the beads sit better. So I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to just snip it. Not worried about it coming apart. It's glued at the bottom, so it is good to go. Just going to snip these and get them as even as I can or as flat as I can. You can sand them if you feel you need to. I'm not going to. I don't want to run the risk of cracking anything or breaking anything because this is very, very delicate because the dowels are just so tiny. But I'm loving this look. So now I'm just going to take one of my brown ones, add just a little bit of glue. You don't want to do too much because you don't want a whole lot of glue showing at the top of this. And I'm just going to take one of these dowels and do a little bit of cleanup while it's still wet and I can get it cleaned up without having to really fight with it. And I'm just going to do one here as well. Get it as flat as you can. And then do my little cleanup while it's still melted or still wet, whatever you want to call it. And then the next one, we're going to skip one of the dowels and then put a cream colored one and do that all the way around until we're done. So I took my oak furniture marker and I stained, oh, that was an extra bead I had sitting around. I stained this little, I don't know what to call it, this little wood piece, and I'm going to add it to the top. I was going to try to squeeze in some more beads, but they just don't fit, and it won't look right if they're jumbled. So we're going to leave it as is. Going to add some hot glue. Eyeball it for the middle. And there we have it. Clean up our extra glue. And we are just about done. I'm going to go ahead and add some floral foam inside. Add my tea light and some greenery. And that's going to be it, you guys. That is going to be it for this lantern or birdcage or whatever you want to use it as. But I'm telling you, it is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So let's see how it looks all put together. So you guys, this is the finished project and I love how it turned out. I totally had lantern in my mind when I sat down and started crafting, but isn't it amazing how crafting just takes on a life of its own? And what I thought would be a lantern turned into this sweet little bird cage. I just could not help it. The direction that it went in, it just was birdcage. It screamed birdcage to me. I love it. I added some pool noodle to the cup and put some reindeer moss in there and a little bit of boxwood and set that sweet little dove in there. And it is so super cute. I love it. And I hope you guys love it too. If you do like this content, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part of the Cute and Crafty family. And I just really, really hope that you are blessed. And I want you to craft something beautiful today. I love it. Bye, guys.